680 News business editor Richard Southern joins us now. And Richard, Canada has a new hot housing market. It's not Toronto's because that's cooling off. It's Montreal that's now booming.
Yeah, Montreal now has a smoking hot housing market, Francis. May was the biggest month ever for the Montreal housing market. Sales were up 15% on a year-over-year basis in May. Home prices rose 6%, which doesn't sound very much like anything to us here in Toronto, but that's actually quite a lot for Montreal because the market there has gone sideways for a long time. So what this looks like is, you know, the money going first from Vancouver to then Toronto and now to Montreal. Remember back in April, Queen's Park put in place a 15% tax on foreign buyers. That's been effective in cooling our housing market, and it seems the foreign buyers are now, as a result, targeting Montreal. Still, it's a steal there. If you're looking for a house in Montreal, the average price, Francis, $319,000. Of course, well below what we continue to pay here in Toronto. All this, though, you know, there was big questions about what was driving the Toronto housing market. And all this, Francis, really shows that it probably was foreign buyers after all.
So they're just going elsewhere.
Going elsewhere.
So we're halfway through 2017. Let's take a look at what's been making money this year and really what hasn't.
Some very interesting assets as far as what have been the best and the worst. So best performing assets this year, number one, lean hogs. What's that, you ask? This is essentially pork. Up 23% on the futures market. This is the main source of pork we eat, and pork prices, they've been on fire because demand skyrocketing for pork. Next, palladium up 22%. That's a rare silvery white metal, an important component in electronics, especially new technologies like fuel cells. Third best performing asset, the NASDAQ stock index. It's up 17%. Tech stocks have been red hot. Amazon closing above $1,000 per share today. Worst performing assets of 2017 so far, orange juice topping the list. Down 32%. You know, Francis, fewer of us are starting our day with a glass of OJ. It's regarded now as a sugary drink. And that leads us to the second worst performing asset, which is sugar itself, down 29%. And that's followed by the VIX. This is the volatility index, the fear gauge on Wall Street, down 21%. Traders haven't been so fearful so far in 2017.
Well, we all like ribs, so I can imagine why that's doing so well.
There you go. Ribs are making money.
Yeah. So the market numbers could be spinning tomorrow when the former FBI director testifies in Washington. Traders are gearing up, and so are the watering holes in the U.S.
Yes, this is going to be big. So 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, James Comey will testify. He put out a statement today saying that Trump asked him back in February to put an end to the investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. But yeah, it's not just traders gearing up for Comey's big testimony. Bars are opening early in the U.S. for Duffy's Irish Pub in Washington, D.C. will be open at 10, and they'll be selling confifi cocktails. Ace's Bar out in San Francisco opening at 6 a.m. local time. They asked the bartender there, Francis, is Comey's testimony going to be good for business? And he goes, of course. He says, when things are good, you drink. When things are bad, you drink. Everything's good in the bar business. And, of course, also tomorrow, Francis, it's the elections in the UK and a big European Central Bank meeting. So Thursday could be a big one for stocks.
Big question is, how do you like your confifi cocktail? Stirred, shaken, over ice? Like,
well, I think they put actually Russian vodka in it. Seriously. Yeah, it's Russian vodka in there.
Well, speaking of the Russians, did Vladimir Putin even have time to influence the U.S. election? But you'll soon be able to tell. The Russian president's watch is coming up for auction, Richard.
He's got something in common with you, Francis. You're both watch guys.
Yeah, except I don't buy expensive watches like that.
You can't? I don't think you can afford this one. So this is Putin's watch up for sale. It's a Petit Philippe 5208P. Retails for $1 million. It's said to be one of the most impressive wristwatches in the world. It includes a minute repeater, a mono-pusher chronograph, an instantaneous perpetual calendar. You can tell us what those are later, Francis. You know, Putin has a declared annual income of $112,000, yet his watch collection worth 6 times that. Some speculate Putin could actually be one of the richest people in the world.
Wow. So Wednesday is hump day. Naturally, we're all feeling a little sleepy, perhaps, and you're looking at a desk that makes napping at work easier.
You can challenge your inner George Costanza with this one, Francis. This is a Greek design firm, Studio NL, out with this. It looks like a regular desk, but then it folds out to turn into an actual full bed. There's even an LCD television under there, so you can watch City News at 5 and 6 while you take a nap at work. You know, according to a number of studies, having a short snooze at the office can actually increase productivity. So we all should get these nap desks in the office, I think.
I don't know how my neighbor, my desk neighbor, who's actually the director of our show, Caddy, I don't know how she'd feel about that.
Caddy,
under the desk.
You'd be snoring and she'd have to be nudging you. Wake up, Francis. Come on, time to go.
All right, Richard. And it is time to go, she's telling me. Thank you.